everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yan and today I will be showing you how to make wontons. This is one of my most requested recipes and honestly it's so easy to make. It's one of those recipes I like to do on a lazy Sunday afternoon. I'll put on a good podcast and just zone out while I wrap these. And the best thing is these are great in your freezer for a long time, so you can just pull them out whenever you want to make some. Because this is such an easy recipe to do, I love to include the kids in this recipe, which is why I will have a special guest today. This is Sophie, my oldest daughter. She's 9 years old and she'll be my assistant today. Involving your kids in the kitchen is a great way to teach them practical skills and a really easy way to sneak in some everyday math. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you found this recipe helpful, please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. For this recipe, you will need 1 pound of ground pork, 3 scallions roughly chopped, 4 cloves of minced garlic, ½ teaspoon of grated ginger, 1 tablespoon of Shaoxing wine, you can also use sherry wine, 1½ tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, a dash of white pepper depending on taste, and finally 1 package of wonton wrappers. Sorry guys, I forgot one crucial ingredient here, which is 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. This will help your filling from becoming soggy, so make sure you add it. I apologize for missing that ingredient in this tutorial. I'm still new to filming, so when I'm nervous, my brain stops working. You can find the full recipe and additional tips in the description box below. Once again, sorry for the interruption. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's talk about wonton wrappers. You can find wonton wrappers in different thickness. The thickness of your wrappers will really depend on your own personal taste and how you'll be cooking these wontons. Personally, I like my wonton wrappers to be really thin. Also, I tend to steam my wontons, so I can go with the thin wrappers. However, thin wrappers are a little bit harder to work with because they tear easier. Also, if you're going to be boiling your wontons, the thin wrappers tend to disintegrate if you boil them too hard or for too long. So if you're a beginner and you're planning on boiling your wontons, I would suggest getting medium wrapper thickness. When you purchase your wonton wrappers, you will see on the label, it will show you whether it's thin or medium. I am going to be using the thin ones today, but like I said, it will really depend on your personal taste and how you'll be using them. First step is to mix all ingredients except for wonton wrappers together. That additional rascal you see is Savannah, who had major FOMO and wanted to join the video as well. Now use your hand or a spatula to mix all ingredients thoroughly. Once this is mixed well, you can cook a little bit of filling to check on the seasoning. I never skip this step. Next, take a pair of chopsticks, or you can still use your hand or a spatula to stir the mixture in one direction rigorously for 5 to 8 minutes. This process helps with the texture of the filling. Do you have to stir in one direction? I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but it's how it's been done traditionally through generations, so I do as I'm told. This recipe I'm showing you here is my base meat filling recipe. I didn't add any vegetables because my kids prefer them this way. However, I would much prefer and would suggest adding your favorite vegetables into the mixture. Because this is purely all meat, I had to stir the meat mixture for much longer to ensure a tender filling. If you add vegetables to mixture, you do not have to stir as long. My favorite veggies to add to the fillings are Napa cabbage, bok choy, or corn. However, I have also used ingredients like sauerkraut, which makes it a probiotic wonton, cucumbers, and tomatoes. If you're going to use a vegetable with high water content like any kind of greens or cucumbers and tomato, you will need to chop them into smaller pieces, marinate them in salt, then wring the water out from the vegetables. Then you will add vegetables at the very last step to make sure excess water does not seep into your filling. My favorite ratio is 50% meat and 50% veggies, but you can adjust to your own liking. Just remember, if you want to use all meat, expect sore arms, or get your family to help you with this step. What you're looking for is this stringy texture in your meat, and your meat becomes stickier. Once your meat looks stringy, you will move on from stirring to slapping the meat. No, you're not actually slapping it. Instead, you want to pick up a handful of the filling, then slap it back down into the bowl. This helps develop springiness in the meat, making it a better texture. Repeat this step for about 3 to 5 minutes. If you're planning on adding veggies, you can skip the slapping stage. Instead, you will add in your veggies at this point. Again, very important, make sure you have squeezed out excess water from the veggies before adding to the filling. There are many ways to wrap a wonton. As long as you make sure all the edges are sealed, there really isn't a wrong way to wrap them. I will show you my way, which is super easy. Place the filling in the middle of the wrapper, then wet all 4 edges. You want to hold your wrapper in a diamond shape, then fold one edge to other to form a triangle. Starting from the middle, push out any air bubbles and seal the edges tightly. Fold one corner over, wet the top of the other corner, then fold the other corner over, press tightly, and you're done. To freeze for later use, cover with plastic wrap to prevent wrapper from drying out. Place in freezer for an hour, then place wontons into freezer bags. I am going to steam these wontons over high heat for 5 to 8 minutes or until cooked through. If you want to boil these instead, see my full recipe and instructions in the description box below for details on how to boil fresh and frozen wontons. Here is a bonus recipe of my husband's favorite wonton sauce. In a bowl, I have some chopped scallions and garlic. Mix in about 1/4 cup of seasoned soy sauce. Make sure it's seasoned soy sauce. The rest of the ingredients are based on your own preference. I added in about a tablespoon of black vinegar and a dash of white vinegar. Make sure you taste in between to adjust seasoning to your preference. Then I added in a little homemade chili oil and a few drops of sesame oil. This is now ready to use.
Cheers. Quite good. The sauce is really good. Savory, umami, garlicky, sour. The wrapper. These weren't homemade wrappers, right?
No.
These wrappers are pretty good.
No, they're really thin.
Yep.
That's why I like thin wrappers.
Thin wrappers, definitely the way to go. Remember to comment, like, or subscribe. Share this with your friends. Share good food. And thank you for making these.
You're welcome. Thanks for watching. Bye.